In Part 2, you are going to have 4 sections. Number 1. Managing the internal audit activity. Number 2. Planning. Number 3. Performing the internal audit activity. Number 4. Communicating the results. Let us start with the first section. Managing the internal audit activity. What do you mean by managing the internal audit activity? It involves the following: planning the time required and the deadlines, managing resources like manpower, training and development of employees, regular updates depending on changing business environment. In general, when I say I want to manage something, the very first thing I will have to do is make a plan for it. That is, manage the time, resources, training, and development of the resources, and of course give regular updates depending upon the changing business environment. Classification. Management of the internal audit activity has been classified into 3 broad headings. Number 1. Internal audit operations. Number 2. Establishing a risk-based internal audit plan. Number 3. Communicating and reporting to senior management and the board. Let us look into each of them. Internal audit operations. By this we mean how the procedural aspects or the operational aspects within the company's internal audit activity has to be done. Establishing a risk-based internal audit plan. Higher risk areas will require more audit time. Extra audit procedures and extra documentation would be required. Now suppose there are 4 areas to do audit: cash, trade receivables, non-current assets, trade payables. Out of these, cash is more prone to risk. There is a chance that there has been fraud or some untoward incident. So, in the current year's audit, extra focus is required to audit cash. This is what we mean by a risk-based audit approach. Areas cannot be overlooked just because risk is low. Let's take another area, say trade payables. This is low risk. But as an internal auditor, you cannot completely ignore it. The quantum of audit procedures, documentation, and the time spent would be lesser, but it cannot be ignored. Communicating and reporting to senior management and the board. Communication plays a very important role in making the audit effective. The Chief Audit Executive, or CAE, must communicate and report to the senior management and the board the results of the audit. Unless this is done, the internal audit activity will not yield any results. Standard 2000. Managing the internal audit activity. This is an audit standard that deals with managing the internal audit activity. The Chief Audit Executive must effectively manage the internal audit activity to ensure it adds value to the organization. Interpretation. What do you mean by the term adds value to the organization? The internal audit activity adds value to the organization and its stakeholders when it considers strategies, objectives, and risks, strives to offer ways to enhance governance, risk management, and control processes, and objectively provides relevant assurance. The risk of the organization should be reduced to acceptable levels or minimum levels. Help the organization to achieve its objectives. Internal audit activity assessment 4 pillars. Internal audit activity helps in adding value if it is performed effectively. These are 4 pillars that will help you to decide whether the internal audit activity is being done effectively or not. It achieves the purpose and responsibility included in the Internal Audit Charter. The Internal Audit Charter contains all the rules, regulations, objectives, the responsibilities of the organization that it wants to achieve through internal audit. It conforms with the standard. If the internal audit activity conforms to the standards which are given by the institute, its individual members conform to the Code of Ethics and the standards. It considers trends and emerging issues that could impact the organization. If there is any change in the business environment, in the economy, or emerging issues or trends that could impact the company as a whole, the audit must consider it. These are the 4 benchmarks based on which you can decide whether the internal audit activity is managed effectively or not. Internal audit operations. The operational role of internal auditing is to make sure that engagements have been properly planned for. The IAA has the resources, human and financial, to carry out the engagements. And the results of the engagements are communicated to those who can take action. CAE must ensure that properly skilled people are available. Planning is very important. Out of 100% of the budgeted time, a minimum of 30 to 40% is spent on planning the engagement. Because if you fail in planning, obviously you cannot execute it properly, and the whole engagement will go for a toss. Communication ensures that the objectives of the audit are achieved.